Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, How Newired Helps Secure Workflows and Improve Compliance. It's 2 p.m. Central European Summertime, and we are live on GoToWebinar platform. Please get comfortable with the platform and the dashboard until we wait a few more seconds until everyone joins. My name is Loredana Staicu. I'm Marketing Manager at Newired, and I'll be your host for today's session. Thank you all for taking the time to join us today. As organizations continue to invest in platforms such as Salesforce, HubSpot, Polarion, and many other enterprise applications, they often face a common challenge, which is ensuring that users follow the right processes consistently, efficiently, and compliantly. And especially in regulated industries, a misstep can mean more than just inefficiency, but it can actually lead to compliance issues or security risk or even audit findings. Today, we'll discuss how organizations can address these challenges through contextual user guidance within the applications employees use every day. Before we begin, let me briefly introduce our speakers today. Joining us today is Mark Lacoste, VP Sales at Newired, who will introduce Newired's user enablement platform. We have also with us Guido Pifferi, Product Manager at Newired, who will lead the live demonstration and show practical examples across Salesforce, HubSpot, and Polarion. Next 30 minutes, we'll cover an overview of the Newired user enablement platform and how organizations can support process consistency. Then we'll move to live demos across Salesforce, HubSpot, and Polarion. And finally, we'll leave some time for your questions during the Q&A session. I encourage you to use the GoToWebinar panel and to submit the questions during the webinar, and we'll address as many as possible at the end of the webinar. With that, I think we are ready to get started. Mark, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Lori. I'm just going to share my screen here. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. I'm going to start off a little bit in reverse order and talk about the challenges that some companies face. Typically, when companies buy a new software, they have some initial training for the users. The users go back to their desk. They have a little bit of a guide. They forget about stuff. They may have retraining. So it's that constant forgetting and learning curve, especially if the company is under governance or like FDA regulated industries. The world is always changing for the typical users. So to keep up to date with absolutely everything is a big challenge. If I go back to a recent experience of my own a couple years ago, we had an established CRM, an order entry system, finance system, and an ERP system. So what happened is we decided to change the quoting and order system. So what the salespeople had to do is in Salesforce, enter all the data correctly to engage the quote to order system. If there was anything missing or invalid field, it would get kicked back and create a lot of internal support tickets, right? So, and then conversely, it would never get the finance and the customer would never get their license on time. So it created a lot of issues for the internal company. So having something like Newired, where your in-app guidance would give you step-by-step guidance along every step and even validate certain fields and certain workflows, that would be a very, very big help. The other experience I have is being a manager is HR platforms. HR platforms, we have to do quarterly reviews. In those reviews, you'd have to enter certain fields, enter certain data, and it was always the question, do you hit save or submit for later, right? So, and both had ramifications. So you get an email with a couple little flow charts, little arrows, and try to save this email and go back and forth out of the system and try to remember what you were doing at the right time so it didn't ruin the flow of the software product itself. So what is Newired? Newired is a user-enabled platform that works as a non-invasive overlay on top of any web-based application. It provides real-time in-app guidance in the application. Really just think of it like GPS navigation for your car. It enables teams to create interactive journeys, validation, and automation with a no-code approach. And going back to my example, if we had Newired for that big project, it really helps organization reduce orders, errors, speed up onboarding, and improve user efficiency. We'll also see in the demo, which is key to everything, is the cross-application support. So you can start in one product, it'll launch you into another product to keep that task, and so on and so on. I find a lot of companies, they have support teams for one core product, but not the holistic view of the end-to-end task that involves multiple applications. Some key differentiators for Newired is we offer on-premise and hosted for our customers. But the one thing I would have to say, being new to Newired, is adopting or our own adoption platform is very, very easy. The no-code approach truly is no code. You're going to see in the demo and possibly in the QA of Guido showing some of those examples. But yes, we absolutely have competitors out there, but their adoption platform honestly could use an adoption platform of their own because they're so complex to make a journey and to do what we do in a matter of click and drags. Some of the numbers I'm going to show you here. Customers have realized 53% of internal training cost saves, 20% increase in user interaction within 6 minutes. And that's very powerful. So you can turn on an application, no help, no nothing, and Newired will guide you through the entire process without even having to go ask somebody or going and logging an internal support ticket and waiting for hours to get help. Meanwhile, you can't complete your task during the day. We also drive a lot of traffic to the internal knowledge base. So the one we don't talk about in my example was we had 1,000+ users in that example where we had the CRM, quote to order, the ERP system, and the license provisioning system. We were having hundreds of internal support tickets every day, pretty much on the same questions, because the users were just not putting the right information at the right time to enact the next flow in the process. So what we're going to see shortly with Guido is a comprehensive demo. And if you have any questions, like Lori said, please enter them in the chat and we can address them at the end. We can show you the product in hand for any of the questions. So thank you very much. And I'm going to turn it over to Guido now.
Hello everyone, my name is Guido Pifferi. I am the product manager for Newired, and today I'm gonna show you Newired live applied to real-world business scenarios. Let's start with HubSpot and let's explore how Newired enhances the user experience of such a platform. So the first use case I'm gonna show you on HubSpot is a pretty basic one. It is about creating a new deal. But is useful to introduce you to one of our features, that is the journey. It is basically a step-by-step guide that can guide users through tasks. So what you see here is a standard HubSpot dashboard, and the little triangle on the bottom right is the door to access Newired. So from here, you see this is what we call launcher. That is basically the Newired dashboard. And from here, any users can pick the right guide to complete the task he wants. So now the journey about creating a new deal on HubSpot is playing. And as you can see on screen are appearing the Newired bubbles that are guiding me through my process. And Newired is not only guiding me through this process, but it's also evaluating the data that I provide to the system, because Newired is equipped with a rule engine that can be used to create validation rules to all the data that I submit to any part of the target application, in this case, the form that I'm using to create a new deal. So while I was speaking, I reached the end of my journey here. So I created a new deal on HubSpot, and I'll show you here now that journeys can also be chained together to create a seamless support experience, or can be also triggered automatically on some condition defined by the author of the journey. For example, you can see now on screen that after creating my new deal on HubSpot, if the deal has not been connected yet to any company, Newired is automatically proposing me the journey about linking the new deal to a company. So again, you can place journeys everywhere on your application, and you can define how and when and to whom those journeys will play, because Newired is also able to segment your user base, and you will decide who's gonna get the journey and who's not. So again, I reached the end of my journey, and now I will show you also the flexibility of Newired, because Newired is deployable on any web application. So now we switch from HubSpot to Salesforce. And again, here it is, Newired guiding me through my new task, that is creating a new marketing contact on Salesforce. You see now on screen also some question marks. The question marks that you see are not part of Salesforce UI, but are part of Newired features. Those question marks are what we call hint. The hint is a single bubble that can be deployed anywhere on the application and is useful when you want to deliver a specific information related to a specific UI element of your application. It's not part of the journey and can be triggered again on many conditions. In this case, the condition is the mouse over. So again, I'm approaching the end of my journey with Salesforce, and I'm gonna tell you about also our latest AI capabilities. So Newired is not only an overlay that guides your users through the application, but is also a self-support tool. A tool that is powered by any AI model you want, even your own if you have any running on-prem, and is able to understand the human language, and is also able to connect to your knowledge base. And your knowledge base can be any repository of information you have available inside your organization. For example, learning center hosted online, or also documentation available on your network. So let's now see it in action. We are now in Polarion, that is a pretty complex ALM platform used for engineering and development. And here on complex platforms, having a 24/7 assistant that is always available and always connected to your knowledge base is pretty useful. So as you can see on screen, I am now asking to my assistant what work items are, and work items in Polarion are just the base building blocks of my management flow. And as you can see, my assistant is now replying with a little summary of what work items are, and then it's giving me also the sources where he found those information. And from here, I can jump straight to those sources directly in another tab, so I can read there the information that I need. I can keep browsing my knowledge base. In this case, the knowledge base is the official Polarion Learning Center. And then when I'm done, I can go back to my usual workflow.
So let's now see how everything that I showed you so far is made. So how our journeys, the step-by-step guides, can be built with our tool. What you see now on screen is our editor that is basically a browser with some, let's say, addition to it that are the toolbar on top and the sidebar on the right. That is where the building process happens. So let's pretend I have to create a new journey in my CRM platform that you see on screen in the editor. First of all, I have to create the journey itself. So I will click on the plus button on the right. And after that, I will give it a name, the name that will be shown to your end users. For now, it will be test. And then to start building it, I have to pick the first step of my journey. I can choose between these kinds of bubbles. I will pick the callout. That is the one that can attach itself to any HTML element on screen. And this green outline that sometimes turns yellow, sometimes green, is our algorithm that is evaluating all the HTML parameters that defines in the page to determine how reliable each UI element is to attach a callout. So let's now pretend I want to, for example, I want to guide my users to click on this create button here. What I have to do is now to select it. And as you can see, my bubble appears. From now on, the approach is what you see is what you get. So I can, for example, move it to the left and start typing the information that I want to deliver to my end users. So I want my users now to click on this button. And as you can see, it's already pre-filled this click here text, but I can be a little bit more precise. For example, I can type in something like click here on this button. Then I can add some text below to give additional information. For example, I can be a little bit more precise and specific. I will type in, you will see everything that you can create from here, and then click on confirm. And that's how easy it is to create your guides with Newired. And by stacking together all those steps, what you get is a journey that will play on your end users' browsers.
Thank you, Guido. Thank you, Mark, for your presentations. I think we got now to the Q&A moment. Let me open the panel of questions and see if we got anything. Yes, I see a first question says, are the same guides shown to every user?
So I'll take this one. It depends. It depends on how you build the guides. So natively, Newired has the ability to recognize who is using the target platform. We have many ways to do that. We can reach also let's say an active integration between Newired and the platform if the APIs exposed by the target platform are available. And we have also other ways that are based on our rule engine to determine
if not exactly with the user that is using the platform, at least his role. And so we can then link that role to a segment, and we can deliver specific groups of guides to that segment. So it really depends on how you build the journeys. But Newired is ready to be flexible on that.
Thank you. Another question we got is, can Newired be deployed on premise?
Yes, totally. Newired is agnostic about the hosting, totally 100% agnostic, and with the same features available either on-prem or on cloud. And not only that, as I said during my presentation, also the AI model that it can be connected to our AI assistant can be on-prem. That means that with a stack full on-prem, no data will ever leave your network. And that's why we are pretty strong on highly security regulated industries.
Thank you, Guido. I don't see any other questions. If you don't have any more questions to address now, then I think we can close the session for today. But in case anything comes up to your mind, do not hesitate to write us and reach out to us. Thank you very much, Guido and Mark, for your presentations, and thank you all for joining and taking the time to attend this session today.
Thank you, and thank you, Lori, for organizing this.
Thank you.
Yes, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.